All right, this is Jackson from the future. I feel like I might have come off a little bit harsh in this video, so I just wanted to put a little bumper up front saying, like, listen, the Packers are a very good organization. What they've done has been very impressive, but I think that there were mistakes that they made that didn't allow them to get to the next level. And that's basically what I'm talking about, is there's some things they did very well, and they have, obviously, Aaron Rodgers, which is the big impact player, but at the same time, I'm more focused on how I didn't love the mindset and the overall way of thinking when it came to building a roster. So that's mainly what I'm talking about. Anyways, let's start the video now. Okay, so here's what I want to do in this video. I kind of want to talk about the Packers just as a whole. Where do we go from here? And listen, so I have an Eric Stokes Packers jersey. My girlfriend is from Wisconsin, and her dad got me this jersey as kind of a bit of a tongue-in-cheek joke, as I am a Buccaneers fan. So I figured a perfect time to wear this when the Packers have just a heartbreaking loss. And I mean, really, I can't imagine being a Packers fan. This is brutal. And it's kind of funny from like an outsider's perspective, but if you're a Packers fan, you must be just really frustrated by this loss, and I get it. And to me, I keep going back to the Packers have not gone all in and tried to win now with Aaron Rodgers. That's just not something that they did these past couple of years, and I think it was a huge mistake. I think they bet against Aaron Rodgers with the Jordan Love pick, and I'm sorry, but I just can't help but think if this team had T. Higgins last year, I honestly think they probably beat Tampa Bay last year. When Tampa Bay took away Davante Adams, Rodgers had nowhere else to go. And in this exact game, when Adams was taken away, Rodgers had nowhere to go. They needed another receiver. And listen, there's a lot of things to blame. Obviously, the special teams is going to come into play. But that's another kind of thing. It's like, how did the special teams get so bad? How do you screw this up the way you did? I really don't know. Another thing I think about was how Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers posted the last dance photos, basically saying, this might be our last ride here in Green Bay. We have one more year. Let's try and win a championship this year, and then we'll go out on top like that. And I think let's start off with Rodgers, because Rodgers, I believe the contract's a little bit tricky, but to my knowledge, I believe Rodgers himself cannot just bow out. He does not have an out. The club can cancel his deal, but if they do, then Rodgers is not he can't be tagged, basically. So you can do that, but then you're a free agent. Rodgers does still have 2 years left on his deal, but Rodgers could literally just say, like, listen, cut me or I'm retiring. Like, that's a power he has, and if he does that, like, Green Bay probably would say, okay, let's move on. Let's not risk this, and let's maybe we play hardball and see if we can keep Rodgers. That might be the right move, but the reality is Rodgers' career in Green Bay is in jeopardy, and I don't know. No pun intended. I didn't mean to do that, but, because obviously he wanted to be the Jeopardy host, or maybe he did, I don't know. But, his career in Green Bay could be over. Maybe he will go somewhere else, and if he demands to be traded, Green Bay might just do that. Another interesting thing is Davante Adams, who is a free agent. And listen, if you're trying to get Aaron Rodgers on your good side, franchise tagging Adams and not giving him a big deal might not be the best way to do it. But also for Davante Adams, he's probably in a situation where he doesn't want to get franchise tagged because he's played well below his market value these past few years. I mean, he made his last contract, he got 4 years, $58 million, meaning because this was his rookie deal. So he's been making $12 million for the past 2 years. And obviously, he's worth way more than that. I mean, he's probably going to get close to $30 million this next contract. So what do you do there? And I think for Green Bay, you have to do what you can to keep those two guys in the building. That has to be priority number 1 and 2. 1 is Rodgers, 2 is Davante Adams. If either one of those guys walks out of the door, you failed as an organization. You just have. Like, those are two guys that mean so much to a football team. The attention Adams was getting in this game, if they had another receiver who could get open with any consistency, they probably win this game. I mean, scoring 10 points in a football game is not good enough. That's just what I keep saying, is it's not good enough. And of course, I think about, like, hey, Odell Beckham Jr. was available. They could have taken that chance, but this was an organization that refused to take chances. And that's really what frustrates me personally, even though I'm not even a Packers fan, is I want to see teams go all in. I think about Tampa Bay and how when they got Tom Brady, they're just like, okay, let's win a Super Bowl now. Who can we get? Oh, Antonio Brown? Sure, let's try that. It blew up in their faces this year, but they won a Super Bowl last year in part because of that. They got Rob Gronkowski. They tried Leonard Fournette. And Fournette was not a star player when they got him. That was a flyer, and it worked out. It seems like the Packers kind of said, these are our guys. franchise, let's go with it. But there definitely could have been more value. I mean, listen, the special teams was bad early on too. Why not try and find ways to bulk stuff, up there? Maybe make a trade in that department, or just, find someone who's been cut, something. Hire a new special teams coordinator. I mean, this was one of the worst special teams units of all time. They had 10 players on the field for the final field goal after a timeout. How does that happen? I think Matt LaFleur deserves some criticism because of, there was a 4th down decision when he chose to not go for it on 4th and 2. They punted and only ended up getting the ball, it was 25 yards further down the field. Why are you choosing 25 yards of field position over having your MVP quarterback go for it on 4th and 2? So just the amount of failures that the Packers had. And listen, the Packers are an incredible organization. I want to be clear about that. What they did these past couple of years has been incredible. And they've made plenty of right decisions. A.J. Dillon looks like a monster. And if he's healthy, maybe this game has a little bit of a difference to it. Eric Stokes, the guy whose jersey I have, who's a player I really like, he's been very good. I think that, he is someone who, I think that was definitely the right decision, and they kind of knocked that out of the park. There's a lot of decisions you can go back and say that was really good. But the other decision is you paid Aaron Jones all this money, and now it might be more difficult to get other stuff happening. You could have kept Corey Linsley instead of getting rid of Aaron Jones. Stuff like that. There's a lot of questionable decisions this Packers organization has made, and if Aaron Rodgers does leave, there's no way to think about this other than a complete blunder of one of the greatest players of all time. I mean, the fact that Rodgers only has 1 Super Bowl is crazy. He should have more than 1 Super Bowl. And I know an element of it is Tom Brady has set our expectations way too ridiculous. Winning a Super Bowl is very hard. And it is very hard. There's no denying that. But again, I kind of go back to a little bit. Star quarterbacks help you win a Super Bowl now more than ever. 20 years ago, a star quarterback couldn't really drag you to a Super Bowl. You kind of had to be on a great team. Now, if you're a star quarterback, you can't win a Super Bowl on your own, of course, but think about the teams that consistently have won multiple Super Bowls. It's all been on the strength of a really good quarterback in recent memory. That's what analytics say, and just logic. You think about that and it says it. So again, I'm kind of just rambling here at this point a little bit, but it's just stunning to me. And now for 2022, you're currently projected to be $40 million over the cap. So you have to clear out a ton of cap space right here. You have to sign one of your best your best player other than your starting quarterback. You have to find a way to get him back on the team. So that's going to be difficult. You can franchise tag him, but that's a tough one. And you have some other players too. Devondre Campbell's going to get a big deal. Devondre Campbell was a great pickup this season, who was kind of one of a surprise players. You're going to have to give him a contract. Chandon Sullivan, okay, he's a player on your roster. Robert Tonyan, if you're going to let Robert Tonyan walk, you have to find a replacement for him. So there's things you have to do, again, Alan Lazard, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Okay, they're not spectacular players, but they are starting receivers, and if you let them walk, you have really nothing. So they're in a tough spot right here, and they're really going to have to just figure something out, and I don't know exactly what they do. This is it's a difficult situation for them at this point, and the reality is this difficult situation was going to happen regardless, and this is why I think I get frustrated with the way that they decided to plan for the future so much. Is you keep planning for the future is going to come, and it's going to be harsh, and it's going to not work out too well regardless. So at least if you went all in, the New Orleans Saints didn't win a Super Bowl again with Drew Brees, but they said, yeah, we gave it all we could. We came close. We left it all out there. We made every move we could. It just didn't work out. But the Packers just, it seemed like every time they considered making a move, they ended up saying it's not enough. The Will Fuller stuff wasn't enough. I don't want to give up a 2nd round pick. Part of me wonders if they would go back and redo some of the decisions now. But again, that's just my thing. Sorry to Packers fans. I know this has got to be tough for you. This is a brutal loss. But yeah, I wanted to give my thoughts on this stuff. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.